snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin and with Jokes, and you are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all types of things that are happening in pop culture. And today is a bit of an odd one. There's a lot to cover. Okay. I don't know that we're going to get to it all.
Hey, what up, BP?
Hey,
BP Joku. Let's call you Count Joku.
Count
be
Joku.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all Sith. That's how I feel about it. Today, what up, Marcus? Yeah, lots to talk about, lots happening. Trailers and just there's a lot going on. But before we do that, Jokes, you have a job to do.
Yes, sir.
So Jokes is gonna get our beacons link listed for those who hear me say it every week, but don't understand exactly what that is. It's like a link tree. And for those who've heard me say that before, but don't understand what that is, it's basically what up, Cuddy? It's basically one place where you can go that has all of our different links in one place. Heather, what up?
What up, Heather?
And so it's just easier to give you one link where you can go and follow us across all of social media, including our Patreon, our merch site, and so forth. So now that you have the link, the merch site is there. Loading Snacks versus Autism 2023 shirts. We are coming up to the end of April. And again, if you go to the merch site and you purchase one of these shirts or the stickers or the mug or what have you, during this month, the proceeds from all of that merchandise is going to the Organization for Autism Research. So if you haven't done so already, we would greatly appreciate it if you would go there and patronize us there so that we can give back to the community. It would absolutely mean a lot. I do know some people got some shirts. I actually have to order another shirt because somebody ordered one of the tie-dye shirts, and that joint looked really good. And I was like, I might have to double back.
Tatiana ordered the tie-dye t-shirt.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. She got it?
Yep, we have them here.
Okay. Hold on. You said we. Did you get a tie-dye?
I didn't get a tie-dye. She got the tie-dye. I got the hoodie. You know, I'm the hoodie, but there's gonna be some more comments.
I mean, I got a hoodie and a shirt, but like I'm thinking about doubling back and getting the tie-dye as well. But yeah, so speaking of that, this Saturday, you can catch us live and direct at the Nerdpocalypse Classic event that is happening at Power Plant Live in Baltimore. So if you're in the area, what's up, Dr. If you're in the area, please by all means come through and check that out. Jokes, I dropped the link for you.
I got that one too.
You would drop that for everyone. Let's talk a little bit about what Nerdpocalypse is. So here's the thing. Nerdpocalypse is a bar crawl. It's multiple bars all in one location that are themed in different ways. This is just a couple of slides that are showing you some of the things that are going to be happening there. There's going to be a replica of Kit from Knight Rider. If you're old enough to know, you know. If you're not, you're Jokes. And so,
sir, I know what Knight Rider is. Like let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
I mean, but do you really like? Did you watch it?
He wasn't watching it live.
I was going to say I didn't watch it when it was live.
You know, it's not the same exactly. This year they're going to have a rage room, and if you're unfamiliar,
yes,
look, when it's time when you just got some stress and some things you need to get off your chest. Rage rooms are places where you can go and they just put stuff in there and you pay and you can just break all kinds of stuff. Yeah, he know Knight Rider 2000.
I know original Knight Rider
with the Navigator trucks or whatever they were. Something like that. What up, G? So yeah, there'll be Axe Storm, which they've had before. The Rage Room is completely new. There's always like karaoke at different times on different stages. There's like giant Jenga there. There's giant Connect 4. I mean, people play it. There are vendors who are usually there selling things on the side and so forth, but really it's just about like-minded people like us coming out, having a good time, having a few drinks, listening to music, having some fun, laughing. Giant pretzels jokes.
Y'all got a bad for pretzels.
Giant pretzels, Tatiana, in the background.
Giant pretzel.
And there are always themed drinks.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
So now we have peaches. Listen, we got a peach drink, a Bo-Katan, a clicker cocktail, the Ashy Slashy, and why is Gamora?
Why?
Listen. How long? We're gonna be there all day.
Probably the whole time.
We'll be all over the place. We'll be there all day.
It's from 3 to 9. We'll be there from 3 to 9. I mean, a little longer, but
we'll be there. It was a pretzel emoji.
2 to 10, maybe. There it is. You know what I mean? We'll be there 2 to 10. But Sin.
Yeah.
Which one of these drinks looks the most?
Peaches.
I shouldn't say the most interesting. Which is the one you want the most based on just looking at it?
Peaches and clicker cocktail is my backup, but I'm putting my money on peaches.
So every year we go, Sin basically tries all the drinks. And
I gotta find the right
one. Which one is the best one?
Yeah.
So
if why is Gamora might be
let me just make it very clear. The 3 o'clock people may meet a different Sin. Not people. I just want y'all to know.
That is absolutely true.
It's totally possible.
Either way, I'll be good by the time it's time to head back home. Either way, I'll be fine by then. So
sure. I just mean, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna start as soon as I get there. Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be a little loose.
No doubt. So Jokes has put the link to the event space so you can go and grab tickets if you want to come and hang out. We would love to see you all there.
Absolutely.
We got some good folks coming from out in Nova to come hang out. Looks like we got a big group coming there. And so it's always a good time. I'm expecting it to be a good time. We're really looking forward to having y'all there. Definitely. While you're in the Eventbrite page for Transcendent Events, which is who throws these events, they also are doing. They now have these movie premieres that they do, and so there is a movie premiere next week on Thursday for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I do like the way they have them set up. They don't allow people in late. They're very, good on the policy about, people being quiet and stuff within the theater. The theater is really nice. It is in Baltimore, just beyond the harbor, right off the water. No children under 13, which is cool. It's just a good time. And they also have themed drinks at the movie theater. So they do stuff that's very similar to what you just saw there. They have themed drinks there too that coincide with the movies. And so they've been doing it for a while now. And so they've had themed drinks for different movies. And so they'll have something for Guardians, but I'm sure they'll have something like they just did one for Evil Dead. And there'll be other stuff like that that's there. And that stuff usually seems to remain on the menu. But I'd recommend it if you don't mind making the trip to Baltimore to go to a movie a little early and make sure that you see it with people who want to see it. And are people come in cosplay and so forth. Like it's a good way for us to do what we do. So I'd highly recommend that as well. Now, before we have Sin do his job, tomorrow evening, we're gonna have us a discussion about The Wiz Movie Club Movie of the Month. And boy, am I looking forward to this. Highly looking forward to this. Live discussion tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Look, just come. just come.
He's on down. Come on tomorrow. He's on down.
Just pull up a chair and
he's on down.
He's right on back down in here with us. So we can talk about The Wiz tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. I already have a movie picked out for next month. Nobody knows what it is yet, but I do.
I guess we find out at the end of tomorrow's video.
There will be squared. You know what I mean? 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Yes, sir. That's right, Marcus. There's no place like home. Or whatever. Now, Sin, you have a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
We love you all. We appreciate you all. You help us keep the bright lights on, and so forth. So thank you so much for your support. If you don't support us on Patreon, shoot on over. You can jump in for like $1 if you have that to give, to us over the course of a year. We'll take it. But if not, again, you have this. You can tune into us here, but we do have stuff that does go live before it gets to other people. We do have a few things that happen there that don't happen anywhere else, like our question of the month and so forth. Speaking of which, Sin, what is happening right now that people are getting early that's coming from you and Patreon?
They have season 3 of Anime Vote, which is currently out there in the universe. This week,
What up, guy?
Patreon members will be getting episode 3, which is Area Zarm the animation. And for everybody else in the general public, you will be getting episode 2, which is Battle Angel. And both of those Thursday in both locations for you all.
Dig it. So, all right. Now we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, I just want to bring in, we're not going to dwell on it. I just think it's kind of cool. And so I want to take a moment to show this. So there was an announcement that Mattel is doing their first ever Barbie doll with autism. So they announced this earlier today or yesterday. I just thought it was kind of cool that, not as kind of cool. It's very cool, right? Barbie over the years has gotten better and better about having representation be at the forefront of some of what they're doing for so long. Barbie was exactly what she sounds like and what you generally think of when you think of Barbie. But there have been other versions of Barbie that have come out over the years. And I don't think a lot of times they get enough hype or that there's enough press behind those kinds of things. And to some extent, to be honest, I kind of like that only because I want those things to be normal. I don't necessarily want for the fact that there's a Barbie that, has Down syndrome. This is a Down syndrome Barbie. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Has Down syndrome. I want it to be normal, right? And we want to normalize it. But because it's not normal, it is news. And I do just think it's something cool that we should share. And I think it's something that's worth looking into because, especially over the last few years, I think we've just hit a stride in the places where we spend our time and our money that is beginning to recognize how important it is. Look, it could be a business choice, right? I mean, it's always a business choice, but for people to see themselves, to be represented, and to really start to understand that representation does matter. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was pretty dope. Fellas, do you have any thoughts on the first Barbie with Down syndrome?
No, I think it's cool.
Absolutely amazing.
I think it was a solid move on their part. I thought it was, pretty cool when I saw that today. So salute to them for that.
For sure. Now, I have something to show you.
Okay.
So bear with me.
Sure. I don't know what tricks you got up your sleeve.
Let me tell you something. It's about to get tricky, so buckle up.
Yeah.
Jokes, have you seen this?
Nope.
I've seen it.
All right, so I want you to take a look at this.
Is this like Last of Us paintball? Actually, I think I have seen this before.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
So this is called Unrecord. And though it doesn't look like it, This is a
Yes, Mom.
This is a game. It's been done in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh.
Right. This is a.
I thought this was real.
Exactly.
Nah, sir.
That is why I'm saying this is all in Unreal Engine. It's a small studio that's doing it. You can wish list this on Steam right now. And you're an officer that basically is showing body cam footage. So instead of trying to make this a first person from the perspective of the they've done it as body cam, but it looked so real, and it looked so real that people thought it was fake. Over the past few days, it's been like going crazy on the internet. They showed there was a demo for this last year that was a little bit different from this, and again, people thought it was fake. They didn't think it was actually a game. And then what happened is they made the environment downloadable. Literally like walk.
Where the fuck is Oscar?
So people could go and actually see, like, you can move the camera through the environment, walk around it, and so forth. This is a game, bro. That is Drama is the name of the studio that's making it. We got to talk about Unreal Engine 5, bro.
Unreal Engine 5 is
they doing some miraculous things.
Slim, listen. Here's the thing. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Because I know enough to know that, yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is what they're using to do The Mandalorian. It's what they're using to do a lot of the Disney and Star Wars stuff. Unreal is making realistic environments that we're watching people walk through and shoot movies in every day, do TV shows in every day. And you are limited by using the volume with the big, canopy on the top and the LED screens around the back. But obviously they can continue to make those bigger and bigger and have larger stages and sound stages as far as that's concerned. But the thing for me is the realism that's captured in this, the lighting that's captured in this, the audio that's captured in this, how realistic this looks. Exactly, Tuddy. It is crazy that it's a game. Look, who knows what you're actually going to need to run it? Are these cameras on Ukrainian Russian soldiers? It's supposed to be. I don't think it's supposed to be a Ukrainian soldier. I mean, he speaks in plain English. Like it sounds like it's something else. What they're billing the game as like a detective game. So you are like a lone officer who is attempting to get answers for something that happened, and they're using body cam footage as the camera, but you're going through. And so if you notice, like there are moments where he confronts someone or whatever, and you actually get dialogue choices. So that first time that person runs past and he runs in and the person shoots at him, and then you hear him go, shots fired, like put his hand up and say, shots fired. There was actually a small box that popped up in the center of the screen that was a dialogue option that allowed you to either radio it in or not radio it in. And what happens in the game going forward happens to be affected by the choices that you make when you're doing that. And so you're trying to find out certain information. So the last person that they confronted in that room, it gave 4 options for what you could say to that person as you confronted them in the room. And so, look, I think it says a lot. Like we have a tendency to play like these FMV games, these full motion video games when we get together for like Extra Life, and it is video and it's shot. Like, I don't even know like if you have to have that anymore. I think that the things that we're going, like, think about it this way. Jokes, tomorrow you'll have the new Star Wars game in hand, right?
I thought it doesn't seem like they're releasing it early.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's just Friday.
So, but they use Unreal Engine to shoot the shows in Star Wars. So while that wasn't used to do this game, right? Star Wars Jedi Survivor, They could easily
shift
into a game where like it's a first person Mandalorian or something like that. Like it's crazy, right? And so to think where games have come, to have gone to the theater to sit down to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie, the second Super Mario Brothers movie, and look at like that opening logo where you see the pixelated Mario and Luigi run across and open, and just thinking back to like Atari and like what we came from versus what games are now, and how the gaming industry is now pushing the Hollywood industry, the movie industry.
It makes me go back and thinking like when the first time we saw Resident Evil, and we're sitting there like, oh my God, this is the most realistic thing I've ever seen. Like, this is incredible. And now it's like, how did we fake that?
Oh yeah. Oh nah. Resident Evil on PlayStation 1 was real.
Yes.
It was real.
I ain't never seen graphics that good. It just looked. They just keep pushing the envelope.
Hey, we keep saying that every console generation and every we say the same thing every time. Can't get any better than this.
OG Final Fantasy, bro. 7? PlayStation 1?
Beautiful. CG was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. Oh my God. Breathtaking beauty.
All 4 and 5 discs of it.
What's crazy is that the uncanny valley continues to shift, right? What our eyes detect as being real, or what looks real, or what feels real when we sit down in the theater or in front of our television, whether that's to play a game or not, the uncanny valley is really beginning to shift. And once they get people right, and they're like, if you research MetaHuman by Epic, like it's getting real close, like real close. They just don't quite have the hair right. The eyes are getting better. You know what I mean? Now you look back and right? Yeah. I'll give you a perfect example. I was sitting down with Edie the other night, and we were on Disney Plus. They had made the announcement they were adding the Spider-Man stuff into Disney Plus. And we have been watching Miss Marvel, and we saw the logo for Spider-Man, which was the 1999 year 2000 MTV computer animated joint, and I was like, "Yo, this joint is fire. We gotta watch this joint." Slim.
He got 5 minutes in. It's like
they go not even 5 minutes, bro. I hit play, and Edie was like, "Ew, ew, what is this, bro?" The joint look like Reboot. It's terrible, dog. I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh, I feel like jokes right now talking about Beast Wars." Like the Beast Wars is garbage. It looks terrible, bro. But I know that at the time it was like cutting edge. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I remember the episodes. I watched them joints over and over again, own them joints on DVD, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm sitting there listening to her struggle with it. She's like, why does Mary Jane look like that? Why does he look like that? And I'm like,
time.
Hey, come on, man. That's Neil Patrick Harris, man, being Spider-Man right now. Like, relax. That's who Peter Parker is. Like, but I'm like, yeah, I don't look pretty bad. It's pretty bad, but it was cutting edge. That's just, what technology does. Unrecord, y'all. Jokes, you excited for that?
I'm intrigued to give that a shot. Like, if that also works with VR, like, if that works with VR, that that's gonna be a problem.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready to watch something else?
Let's go
for it.
We're gonna get blocked.
Gang, it's win by 2.
Not here, it's not. Hey, they letting yoga instructors in the gym now.
Ball.
I just noticed you're not getting enough legs on the shot. Are you dehydrated?
$100, you can't make more shots.
Let's just do 300.
It's not my dad's money. We ain't never gonna get a reparation that way, bro.
So I prefer Venmo or Zelle, but you seem like a Cash App guy, so.
Ladies and gentlemen! You think you're slick, huh? You're showing up to court dressed like a dumbass, acting like you can't hoop.
You assumed I couldn't hoop because I'm white, which is incredibly outdated.
No, I assumed you couldn't hoop because you were dressed like a white girl at Whole Foods.
Where the love go?
It's really hard to plan for the future when we're always worried about money because you're out here living in a fantasy.
My 30-day detox program. You want a free sample?
Nah, I ain't drinking no boo-boo juice.
Babe, it's almost the first.
I'm gonna go tomorrow, I forgot.
Why don't you just go now?
You'll be fine. Hey, don't worry, mommy.
Don't worry, mommy.
Every hooper I know is entering that big-ass tournament with a winner get $500,000. I just need somebody who can play so I can make some money.
You're joking, right?
$500,000 for one day of hoop.
Yeah.
We can hustle a few games together to get the money for the entry fee.
I'll find some marks. Those short shorts look incredible on you. Throw them off their game. You have an OnlyFans? And we'll clean up. You gonna wear that trash bag?
You gonna wear that fake-ass Richard Simmons outfit?
I don't bluff, bro.
I bet y'all got one coming in these days.
Release for me. Release for me. That's the
I doubt that.
It's enough jokes. Then the sun died.
Don't spend any of the money until we can cover the fee.
I should be saying that to you.
Well, I'm good with money.
So am I.
So am I.
Me too.
Me too.
Word.
Word, bro.
If she's iffy, then the drugs go. If she's
Can I see you?
double cup toast, got a duffel full of hundos, that'll love go.
Buckets. What? Just wanted to see if you had superhuman hearing because of your...
Because my what?
They're gonna kill him in the parking lot.
I'm out here. He got a flamethrower.
Flamethrower? What is this, Mad Max?
5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go. I don't bluff, bro.
I don't know how much you talking trash to today, but good work.
Thank you. You could talk way more trash out there. You have so much material I can't even touch. Never mind.
Oh, tell us.
Where the love go?
Hey, bruh.
Hey.
I mean,
I give it a
White Man
shot.
Can't Jump is a classic.
Classic. Now listen, when they first announced that this remake was coming out, I was like, I was like, nope, throw it away. But after seeing the small previews they've done, I was like, I like the vibe of it, especially bringing it in the current time and really integrating it in. I was like, this could actually really work.
I agree. 100%, man. Sin looked like he was like, oh, I the moment this drops, I'm in there. He was looking at this joint like, oh yeah, I'm ready.
At first, I was like, all right, I'm not going to see White Man Can't Jump in the theater. I'm not going to do that. But as the trailer went on, I'm like, oh, it's coming out on Hulu. Okay, yeah, I'll watch it when it drops. Then, yeah,
Never mind.
yeah, what?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna pay to go to the theater to see it, but I'll watch it.
I'll be honest, man. Just off the strength of having seen, I reserve judgment till it comes out, and that's fair.
That's fair.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
having seen the first joint in the theater, dated. Haven't seen the first joint in the theater.
Same here.
I actually feel like I would consider this. I think I would go and see it. And here's the thing. I know some of the other people. Like I know who Tiana Taylor is. I like Jack Harlow. I don't know most of the people in it. The first joint was like off the strength of Wesley Snipes at the time, like
That was really, yeah.
and Woody Harrelson, like Rosie Perez, bruh. Joint was clean, bruh. You know what I mean? And no, that's not what the plan is for movie of the month. That's not.
Oh, that's that. Okay.
That's the road we're going down. But I actually think it looks really good.
It looks better than I thought it would.
100%. Because I was with jokes. I was like, no.
Like, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Leave it. But I feel that preview it at least makes me feel good about how at least what they've put together as far as it. So,
and my favorite comedian has a small role in it, so I really just want to see his roles for the most part. So I definitely gotta.
Is there any chance Woody Harrelson makes a cameo? We don't know, and he just shows up.
I can see that.
I think it's possible.
I can see that. Yeah, like when they say like let's do some games to get the entrance fee or whatever. They could run into them together real quick. As a
just
throwback
running to Woody
cameo.
Harrelson. My man just went, hey, listen, back in my day, like he ain't necessarily got to be the same character, but just to be like, hey, listen, back in my day, the way that I used to hoop.
because he did. He used to hoop. First joint is a classic until I saw this. Again, same thing. First joint is so classic that, but again, it's like the first joint is also so old. And look, we live in a remake society, right? A lot of the movies that I watched growing up were remakes of movies that were, that came out when my parents were kids and so forth. So, it's just the kind of thing that has to happen, right? And for a different generation, for a younger generation, for a generation of people who actually wonder, and I mean wonder, no, like think that LeBron is the greatest of all time, or like a generation of people who just doesn't know better, like full generation of people who never seen Michael Jordan play live, like just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so different. And so I think that the story and for what's happening and what's being told can be retold with new people over again, and it can be okay. And it's like, even if I don't like it because I'm a fan of the classic, not all things are for us. You know what I mean? Anymore. They remake them to make them new again, right? So if Jokes is disappointed by Beast Wars when Beast Wars comes out, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, even though it will be. Because a new generation who has no idea, right? Maybe like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing, and Hasbro may be on to something. You know what I'm saying? It just
Jokes like, nah, y'all gotta go see the OG Beast Wars. Y'all missing out.
That's what I'm waiting for.
They probably when this movie gets ready to release, because I don't think Beast Wars at one point I know it was on some streaming services, but it would not surprise me if it just magically showed back up on probably, I guess, Paramount or Hulu, just for people to go back in and take that watch.
All right, now before I go on to the next thing, I made enough fun of Jokes tonight. I have to give my man a moment to talk about this Power Rangers reunion joint that dropped last week on Netflix. I know you watched it, probably once. I have watched some stuff about it, but I haven't watched it because I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'm just keeping it a buck with you. Talk to me, man. Talk to me about this reunion show.
So reunion movie. So obviously, there are some pieces of the puzzle that are missing from the cast. So the main two focal points, Billy and Zach, were the main focal points of this reunion special, and giving us a little bit of closure to Trini's story. For those that aren't familiar, the actor that played Trini in the show unfortunately passed away after the second and third season of the original show. So this story revolves around her daughter, and in trying to cope with the passing of her mother. Overall, it's okay. Like, it feels like watching an episode, a little bit of a longer episode out of the 90s, the cheesiness and the things that you could have expected out of the original show watching it, you got that in here with it. So it made you feel like you were just kind of continuing on with that story. Getting to see some of the updated graphics. They didn't necessarily give them a different morph sequence. They did the same typical, it's morphin' time. The morpher comes down. They're in the middle of the morpher, just to give you that nostalgia feel to it. Some other familiar characters show up. You see Alpha in the trailer, of course. Adam and Aisha, who were one of the first ones to have powers transition over to them, will also be in here. Overall, I will say it was okay. For anyone that is a fan that watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the story, there's a lot that they put in here that canonize within the show, things that actually happened in the comic books, which I actually did like, which leaves this open to, if it does well enough, there could be some more story expansion type things that they could do with it. My only real issue, they decided to go the CG route for the Megazord. So it's weird. When the Megazord started to form and we saw like the Zords individually, they actually didn't look that bad. Okay. Once they became the Megazord, I was a little. That was my only shaky moment out of it. But having Barbara Goodson, I believe is her name, actually come back and do the voice of Rita was super cool. And honestly, Rita was probably the standout thing from this movie. Like
Robot Rita.
Right?
Rita. It's like so Rita Repulsa's dead. Or something?
So what from Power Rangers in Space, unfortunately, Zordon saved the whole universe, pretty much got rid of all the villains in the universe that happened. But because they actually
his little space tube that was holding him, she was holding him in time. That's why
he called it. It actually has a name now. It's called the Z Wave. That pretty much obliterated all the evil for the universe. And I will say they actually gave us a decent reasoning on how Robo Rita became a thing. Like I was afraid that was just going to kind of be like a thrown in thing, but they actually did a good job at tying it into the events originally that why all the villains were destroyed to bring her back. It made sense. A little bit darker, so they definitely aged it up a little bit, and so it would kind of be for like the group like me that watched it when we were younger. They grew it up a little bit, made it a little bit darker, and I think it worked out really well.
Okay. No Lord Zed.
Lord Zed had a cameo in the current Power Ranger series. I haven't watched that one. I'm a little weird and I don't understand it, but Lord Zed did come back. I don't
like you're outgrowing it, jokes.
Yeah, Lord, but after seeing this and how they did the explanation, I kind of want to go back and watch it now because if they use that same explanation, then I'll be like, okay, let's see how it happens.
All right. Bulk and Skull, were they in this?
Yes and no. So they had an image. So Bulk and Skull have a food company, and they had an advertisement in the episode with the two of them on them. So that was pretty cool. So they exist, and it was their images. So could have just been maybe
like dealing with Bulk anyway. Is like the only one who has stayed in like every iteration of Power Rangers.
It's kind of transition. Came back at one point. Eventually, he ended up disappearing. But yeah, he was probably the one that went for the longest before they started switching the cast up to a fresh cast for each season.
Okay. So overall, it's mediocre. What up?
I give it a B. Like I think for what it was, because a lot of people.
Anybody a B for Power Rangers fans?
I would say a B for. I'll say Power Rangers fans because obviously going into this, there's certain elements as you watch it you may not understand because you didn't watch Power Rangers per se. But I think they did a good job of explaining certain things so people that didn't necessarily watch the original series would be able to get in and follow along with it. So I think they did a real good job at that. The most plaints, of course, people were saying is that the full original cast wasn't in this, but Austin St. John had legal stuff going on. He couldn't leave the country, so it wasn't like he could go to New Zealand and film this. Amy Jo Johnson unfortunately declined to come back to do the role. And unfortunately, the passing of JDF, he actually declined the role beforehand anyway. But I think with David Yost and Walter Jones coming back and reprising Billy and Zach, I think that was absolutely amazing, especially with the things that we know went on behind scenes with David Yost. I actually liked Billy kind of being in that leader mentor type of role, which I thought was pretty cool. Still flexed his mind abilities and being the smart guy to kind of create things. I think they did a good job at it.
Okay. I dig it. Sin.
Yeah.
What do you know about Rovio?
Not much because I can't think of it. Like it sounds familiar, but I'm trying to blank.
That's the game company. That's the I think I know. Yeah, that's the game. Angry Birds, Sin.
Okay, so yeah, I was addicted to that for a minute.
Hold up.
Did you hear what happened?
No, I didn't.
Greg.
My man said you gave the Mandalorian season finale a B+ and give this.
I did, and you know what? I'm not mad at the B. I think they did good with what
that was
they
a
had.
B+ for everybody. And this is a B for Power Rangers people. Let's just keep it a buck. It's different. Yeah. Did you hear what happened with Rovio?
No.
They kind of changed it, but yeah.
So Sega bought them.
Yep.
Okay, Sega.
Sega Sammy bought Rovio for $775 million.
Jeez.
Hey, Angry Birds pulled some.
Oh, it does.
Money.
Jeez.
They did. I don't know if they do, but they did.
Mm-hmm.
There was a like an attempted buyout takeover in like January by another company. And that actually pushed their value up. Their value has gone up again since Sega did this. $775 million is a lot for Rovio, but Sega has what they are calling a 5-year plan to invest like $1.9 billion into games and gaming, with a major focus specifically on mobile gaming. I don't think. I mean, look, I don't know what else Rovio has really done besides Angry Birds.
I think that's it. Honestly,
Star Wars.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Angry Birds will be in Yakuza somehow. It'll be a cell phone game. You'll be able to play the whole thing. I already see that happening.
Absolutely, could be a thing.
But
of all the look, Sega's been around forever for us, right? Like it's Nintendo and Sega before there's Nintendo and PlayStation,
right?
Or there's Xbox or whatever, right? When Sega ended with the Dreamcast and went third party and started making games for other people, I think for a lot of us, it was like, man, it was truly the end of an era. And it really was like, it's kind of crazy that you see Sonic and Mario together. You see Sega up on Nintendo platforms and, stuff like that. But when I don't think I ever considered, I've considered Sega as a company that's likely to be purchased by PlayStation, by Sony or Microsoft or Amazon or somebody out here with what I would consider big money. I've not really ever looked at them as like, oh, Sega might just get out here and start buying stuff up. Certainly wasn't expecting that. And so it does kind of
Sega cleans up overseas with them arcades.
For sure. But the thing is, a lot of those arcades have shut down.
They have, yeah.
Between 2020 and just arcades being what arcades are, they had to close. We talked about them having to close like their biggest, most important one of those arcades.
Yeah, one of the main ones in Japan.
Yeah, like the last
Akihabara.
Right. So, look, a lot of these companies that we know in the U.S. is companies that just make. See, my man, I didn't even know they were still around.
They're still around.
Yeah.
Well, when they bought Sammy, it was like, oh, all right, you know what I mean. But Sammy is kind of like nobody thinking about Sammy. These companies are companies like when we think about Konami, like we know Konami for making video games. We know Metal Gear. We know they were Ultra back in the day on NES doing like Ninja Turtle games and stuff like that, right? And there's a huge lineage of stuff like that for us. But outside of the US and especially in Japan, like Konami, they do gambling. Like they make huge money, right? Doing stuff outside of it. So when they were like, we don't really need Kojima. Metal Gear's okay. It's like they own the IP, they own the Contra IP, and so they're pachinko machines, right? And they literally own like laundromats and do like it's crazy to other stuff. And I know that for a lot of us, we recognize Sony as a company that is synonymous not only with PlayStation but with being involved in making electronics as a whole. Because we knew Sony before that, right?
Yeah.
But we don't really think of other companies that we only really knew as getting into the game business, and doing other stuff. And there are other companies that did it, but to see Sega kind of jump in there and drop almost $1 billion to buy a single
company,
to buy a single company. J. Robert Dean said, I assume Sega was making coin on producing replacement parts for their arcade. And they probably are making some money on it, but again, they're having to shut down arcades. So, you know, they certainly have money that's coming from other places. But, you know, Sega was a hardware manufacturer, so they did other stuff, you know, besides make software that we played. I mean, but $775 million for
that's a lot of money. Yeah.
Specifically for mobile, when you're like, we're going to spend 1.9 million billion, 1.9 billion. They ain't even cracked the surface yet. So now, BlackRock company behind the scenes. Yeah. So now my question is, because again, like we think about, because I can't think of the name of the company, but PlayStation just bought somebody too. They just acquired another studio.
I saw that. But I think it's like a fresh studio that I don't think they've only made like one title or something. It was something for them.
Rovio only got one title, bro.
Yeah.
They just got Angry Birds. That's what I'm saying.
Not
that it's not $1 billion.
$2.
Like, look, Angry Birds was the first game to get 1 billion downloads. Like, it is a historic piece. Like, you know what I mean? They did movies and TV and stuff like that. For comparison, Fox and Facebook just got hit with $725 million in fines. So dropping a bucket in today's.
I'm finna get my penny from Facebook.
No. I mean, it sounds like a drop in the bucket. But like, I think that people recognize companies like Fox for having billions of dollars to spend. I don't think people recognize Sega.
Sega being one of those,
One of those,
yeah. Fresh and new or fresh and smooth. I don't know that there's a difference.
I was thinking the same thing. Like,
I think they're both. It's just interesting to see the way that the gaming landscape is changing. By the way, tomorrow the CMA is supposed to have their final, like they're supposed to make their final decision on this Xbox Activision thing tomorrow.
Just let it go. What's good, man? Just let it go. Just let it go through. Listen, now Japan is cool with it, so Sony
right.
And Japan kind of don't got no choice, like especially the way they're looking into it now. It could end up being real bad for Yes. It's a competition authority. For the UK. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, it's gonna happen. There's no doubt in my mind that the acquisition is going to happen. It's just a matter of exactly when. At this point, I think we're just beyond where Microsoft was like, it was supposed to close in April. And there is some, like, Microsoft, even though they're supposed to be purchasing them for almost $70 billion, they're on the hook for $3 billion if the deal doesn't go through. They have to pay $3 billion to Activision. They don't want to do that because they can't recoup that.
Yeah.
That is a fact. Look, here's the thing. You ever have, like, you know how when people are in a relationship and somebody just consistently like points the finger as if their partner is cheating or something like that, and then people go, "Yo, they doing that to you because they cheating because they're doing it." I mean, or whatever. That's Sony. Sony been cheating in the game the whole time, and so now it's coming out because they pushed the button, right? We don't want them to do this. It's not fair. It's not good for competition. It's going to ruin competition. And then now all this paperwork is coming out. And it's like, you're literally doing deals with people to be like, you're allowed to release your game everywhere except Xbox. Like, Nintendo,
that's unfair business practices. Like,
straight up.
Like, come on.
That's cool. If it's Microsoft involved, it ain't even just like, let's keep it off Game Pass. It's literally like, you Xbox, can't release on a Microsoft, like you can't release on Xbox at all. And that's crazy. Because that is literally, and it's one thing when come on, man. When when you're talking about competition and things being fair and stuff like that is being overlooked or being done behind the scenes. And I feel like in a lot of ways, people at Microsoft have been aware of it, but haven't really been able to do anything or haven't pushed doing anything. I think they just chose, all right, we're going to go this route. We're going to make it work, right? We're going to do this and it's going to happen. And there's a part of me that feels like a lot of what you've heard people like Phil Spencer at Microsoft or Satya Nadella talking about at Microsoft, as far as like, we don't want to keep games away from people. We want more people to be able to play games, is literally them directly targeting the fact that they know that behind the scenes, that's exactly what Sony is doing. They're trying to keep it away from more people instead of it getting to other people. So when you really look back at some of the practices that they've had, especially when it comes to things like crossplay, right? Like
Sony, it can't be done.
Yeah, you're never gonna forget that one.
And Fortnite just said, "Oops."
Oh, our bad for that one.
Let us turn that back off right quick.
So I think there's the downside of it is that a lot of this could end up affecting Sony in a very negative way that does in turn hurt and affect their loyal customers. Because it may mean that in the long run, they're going to have to change practices, or they're going to have to lose things that they didn't have, as a loss before. It's hard for me to imagine that a court system would go in and say, you've been doing this, 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 and this. And so now what you have to do is you have to take your exclusive titles and you have to release them. You have to give them the Xbox. You have to, which would be crazy.
God of War on Xbox.
But crazier things have happened.
Absolutely.
Right? And hence,
what's good?
Sega's spending almost $1 billion to buy the people who created Angry Birds. Just for, like, what are they doing? What are they going to do with Angry Birds?
Well, I think Angry Birds is going to exist, but they'll use them to create a Sonic mobile game or something like that. Sonic. Else, yeah. I know they did a Yakuza one for the last one that we never got a cell phone game, telling the new protagonist like his backstory before the game started. So they'll do something Yakuza related. Trying to think what other big properties they have that.
I mean, when the plan is to spend $1.9 billion, let's just say $2 billion. When the plan is to spend $2 billion over the next 5 years, right? And we're at the very beginning of that, you dropped $1 million, you got a lot more money to spend.
Still spend.
Like, you have a lot more money. Like, I should have done more research. I don't know what kind of assets Sega is sitting on.
Hell, they're sitting on something.
Because here's the thing. This isn't like this is an all cash deal. This is a cash
straight suitcase. Here you go.
Swipe my debit card. Like, no, just swipe my debit card.
This isn't like you can have some Sega stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
No. This is $775 million in cash.
Jeez.
Here you go, Rovio. You belong to us now. The shareholders in Rovio that they own like 49.1% of the company, right? They're getting paid, like, because they're getting like an extra $1 a share on the shares of what they already own. So they pushed them up, and now they're worth more. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Gay's like, I just swipe it.
Want those points?
Just swipe it. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see the way that the landscape is unfolding, and when stuff like this is happening, straight up, Brian Davis just pay it. It means that there are other players that I think we're not thinking of, and that other people aren't thinking of, that could easily jump in and begin to kind of swipe up. We talked about Netflix and what they're doing last week. We know that Amazon does still have a big push. They do own Twitch. There's some changes that are happening there. I don't imagine that Google is done.
What's
up, Kidlet? What up? But again, those are like big players and companies that we know are sitting on like large amounts of cash. In the meantime, the Chinese are buying stuff up Tencent continues to pick up percentages of Nintendo without Nintendo even knowing it.
Y'all pay attention to your business.
And you're seeing like, you know, there are people out, Saudis, buying stuff up. You know what I mean? And gaining ownership of properties that you didn't think about. So the landscape is changing in ways that, you know, again, like Tencent has ownership. And so, I mean, they own a good portion of Epic. Epic owns Bandcamp. But like, it's just, everybody is swallowing everybody. In the long run, it leads to a lot of, I think, what's going to end up being, they're going to have to break it down. Eventually, those monopolies will have to crumble. But it to me right now, what we're seeing happening in the gaming industry is something that is very reminiscent of what we're looking at now with what's happening with Discovery, WB, DC,
streaming services,
AT&T, all of that. Like, for real, AT&T, you don't have no business owning DC Comics. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what to do. And that's, again, one of those things where, like, when you hear a company like Microsoft, somebody like Xbox who's been doing gaming for 20 plus years or whatever, talk about it's better for them to buy game companies to do something with them than it is to have somebody who doesn't know anything about it do it. That specifically is something that comes to mind for me when I think about AT&T owning DC Comics. You know what I mean? Because they own Warner Brothers, and so they got it within that, and having ownership of this IP and just not knowing what to do with it and having no control and knowledge about what direction makes the most sense for where it goes. So I think next week, maybe the week after, HBO Max turns into just Max.
Just Max.
I mean, all right. I don't know how that's good for you, but you know, whatever, right? To other companies that have just kind of, they're cannibalizing one another. And I don't know, man. What do I have to have in order to watch Picard jokes?
Paramount.
Yeah, because I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Paramount has some decent stuff on there. Like, they just added, like,
what about Hey Dizzle?
I'm happy they just put Scream 6 on there. So that's gonna get watched real quick. But I would say Paramount, obviously, there's like, if you're a Star Trek fan, your MTV type of stuff that's on there, a lot of that is all under one roof for it. So
is it? So hold on. Paramount Plus has just Max. This is gonna be called Max. Paramount Plus has they have Viacom. Did I miss? I guess I because Viacom is Nickelodeon, CBS.
Yeah, because if I remember right, like the new Rugrats series is on Paramount Plus.
It's all Paramount. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, because when King's Dominion was Paramount's King's Dominion, like all that stuff was there. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
South Park, the MTV stuff like Beavis and Butthead, Frank Yankers is on there.
That's all Viacom. Yeah. Okay. But still, I'm not. Because I got an offer for like 3 free months of Peacock. Which I did once already. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again. I'm good. Because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't have no need for Max.
I mean, I already have HBO Max, and I mean, there are things I enjoy watching there. Like, I have to be, supremely honest. Like, there's stuff there that I enjoy watching. HBO content is dope, generally speaking, as it is. But the DC, like, literally, and we're gonna do this in a minute. They dropped a new Flash trailer today, and I was talking to Edia about it, and it occurred to me via this conversation that she has never seen Flashpoint Paradox. That she was like, "Do you have it?" And I was like, "Do I have it?
Do I have it?
And then she was like, "Is it on?" Because I use Movies Anywhere, so like a lot of the stuff that I download, I have a Movies Anywhere account. No matter where you get it, it shows up there for a lot of them. And I was like, "It's on HBO Max."
Yeah, Greg. Season 3 of Picard is absolutely amazing. absolutely amazing. Like
I've heard nothing but really, really, really
the
good
first
things
2 seasons are okay, but them going out as the finale for this series, absolutely amazing.
They killed it. Let's do this. That's it, buddy. It's a different show. Here we go. Let's get one.
Maybe.
I lost my parents. That pain made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past. As if fighting crime would bring my parents back. You actually did it.
I can't imagine what you've been through.
I love you, Monkey.
You lost both parents in one day.
Barry! Call 911 now!
I went back in time to save my parents. But instead, I completely broke the universe.
If you went back and changed the past, this world must die. You changed the future.
Do you know what this symbol stands for?
It means hope, right?
I will help you fight Zod.
You want to get nuts?
Good luck.
Let's get nuts.
I have to undo what I did.
These scars we have make us who we are. We're not meant to go back and fix them. Don't let your tragedy define you.
What did you do?
No matter what we do, we're not going to be able to fix this. No! Nobody dies!
You're strapped to your parachute.
Where's yours?
Okay.
All right, listen. First trailer, I wasn't sold. Now,
My man's a little.
You in there now?
this is a Michael Keaton movie, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely
They,
still runs.
they
stupid.
still have that stupid
God,
run. I hope they.
he's terrible, dog. I hate.
That's
Listen,
the only. If they could just fix that. Damn it, Keaton. I need Keaton to like smack him. Hey, listen, I just need you to run like a normal person. Something. I don't know.
because even the little boy run like weird. Like when he's leaving the house, like I feel like they're gonna try to canonize why he runs like that, which is gonna be ridiculous for me. This is where I'm at. Part of me is really excited about the fact that we will never have to see this man be Flash again. Like we can just, it's over.
Yeah.
2, part of me is really excited about the idea of this feeling like an honest to goodness canon reset for the DCU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which I was already kind of in that space.
The one thing I don't know if anyone picked up on this, that they did slightly change comparison to the normal Flashpoint Paris, is the fact that he says that he went back and saved his parents. Like,
right, he said both of us.
Yeah, which I thought was an interesting piece. I don't know if individually save him, and he just breaks everything.
I mean,
but
the reality of it, dog, is that this is very different from Flashpoint Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
This is not even close to really. I mean, other than him going back in time and it breaking the timeline.
Yeah, there's
Very
crisis.
different.
There's no Atlantis versus the Amazonians. There's none of that going on. Like we don't see Reverse Flash in it unless turns
let's.
out. I know, like there seems to be a lot of pieces missing. I agree with Gage. This is not the Flashpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we don't right now. We don't have Thomas. Like that's one of the things that I was explaining. I was like, yeah, he went back and it wasn't Bruce that was Batman. It was Thomas Wayne instead of Bruce Wayne. She's looking at me and I'm like, his father, because Bruce is the one who died. I'm like, you didn't see this? And she's like,
his mother became the Joker.
Like, we have work to do. Like
we gotta fix this.
Every now and again, you find out you failed as a parent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are moments of just like, oh, somehow, and this is the thing. I'm trying to remember if maybe at the time it was just maybe a little bit too mature.
I was thinking that
because when that joint dropped, like she was like heavy X-Men. You know what I mean? Like this is like I was talking to her the other day about the fact that she knew like everybody by their first names, like Cyclops was Scott, and it was Scott and Jean, and all that kind of stuff instead of them being their character names. So maybe that's what it was, and we just never. I don't know.
A combination of the two. Because I'm just thinking about just like I said, Aquaman versus like Wonder Woman alone in it. Like they have a sex scene, people getting beheaded. When
Diana found out, it was like, nope.
Yeah, it got real. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Flashpoint Paradox, we have already ruined it.
It's been out for a decade now. I feel like.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter, man. You still got to
Spoiler boys.
Facts.
Boys.
Yeah. So listen, they could be lying. It feels like there's much more Michael Keaton in this, and I need that. I don't like Ezra Miller. I never liked Ezra Miller as the Flash. Let me just keep that a buck. So I wasn't overly thrilled about this to begin with, or the idea of him getting a movie to begin with. But I'm with it. I'm much more excited about this now. And then at the end, having him kind of run like the original bat symbol, the Batman versus Superman symbol.
So
it just is. That's right, Greg. We be spoiling. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in, bro. Like, I think I'm like movie theater in.
Yeah, I was going to the movie theater to see it regardless, but that trailer, more epic, got me a little bit more invested to see how they close this whole chapter out and move on to what's coming.
Yeah, I was
the idea of like Zod being the big bad is kind of like
I still feel like that's not. I feel like maybe that's still a swerve. Like I think we'll have a good chunk of being with that, but I feel like there's still going to be something that we're not expecting. Like I would like to see, like we talk Reverse Flash or Eobot Thawne. Now, granted, we haven't been introduced to him as in the DCEU stuff, but
I think they're going to fake do that in this with the two Ezras.
Listen, if they bring Eobot out of the Arrow version and just have him just on here to just listen, I hate you in every universe.
Man, they bring an Arrowverse one, he'd kill all of them.
No, he would, and that's why he's the perfect fit for this movie.
Well, there's a part of me that feels like what they're gonna end up doing with this movie is they're gonna do what they did when they ended the animated universe, which is they revisit what happened at the end of it, and in the very end, Flash basically has to run and like kill everybody and just do a full reset. And that's what I think is gonna happen at the end of this. Like nobody survives, quote unquote, because he basically just has to, set it all off. So that's what I think they're gonna do. I kind of hope that's what they do. Which one of the Barrys is gonna be the Barry that does it? You know what I mean? There is definitely something different about it because, like, when Barry goes back in time, he replaces the other Barry. Like, there's not two. So they're definitely doing something very different with this. Like, in Flashpoint, when he goes back Like if you remember, he goes to talk to like he don't have no powers, but he doesn't know he doesn't have powers.
Right.
That's just, and he tries to tell his mother. He was like, Mom, he wants to tell us because his mom is alive, and he wants to tell his mother, like, Mom, I got powers. He's like, Mom, I have something to tell you, and she's like, You're gay, I know. He's like, What?
Puppy brace, Mom.
Right. I'm interested in how Carl fits in. Fun fact: the actress came from the soaps. Yes, I do know that she's quite popular. I'm interested in seeing that too because we don't like Superman around these parts.
And I feel like this. I feel like she's the swap. I think that's what.
Yeah.
Barry just breaks it. Instead of Superman, we get Supergirl. I think.
Correct.
Easy enough.
I mean, obviously, like from the last trailer, you could tell it. Like again, it was Superman who was captured and was held, and they didn't have anybody to fight because there were no metahumans, or I mean, there were metahumans. In this, they say there's no metahumans, but clearly there are. But anyway, I'm all in now. You know what I mean? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
That was it right there. Like,
yeah. So, bro, I'm not even going to joke. I was sitting down. I watched the trailer with Edia, and my man said, "You want to get nuts?" And I was like, "Let's get nuts." And I was like, like they did it. They did it. You don't have to listen to me, dog. If this man says, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" I'ma lose it.
Standing up and giving a standing ovation. I'm telling you right now, just that part.
I'ma lose it, dog. I'ma lose it. If Jack Nicholson shows up in this joint, I'm gonna lose it.
Even if he shows up for a hot second, does the laugh, and whatever happens,
I don't care.
Clean.
I'm gonna lose it. Consider it lost. Like I'm gonna lose it.
So if he's behind bars and like Batman goes and talk to him or something like that, and just a little quick conversation.
You know what? That's all it would be.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Like I'm gonna listen to me.
You're going to lose it.
What do you mean? It's already been
my favorite Joker line, as it should be, because it's way better than Why So Serious. I've had this fight with so many people, man. Let's not do this because
amazing views on that video.
Superhero, and we got it's gonna turn into a thing. It's gonna turn into a thing. Straight up. Just one. My man one shot the Batwing out the air.
Listen, dog.
He did
with the single revolver joint. Yeah, like that's my Joker, dog. Like I don't know. That's my Joker. You know what I mean? That's it. We don't need Bat Dance though. We can do without the Bat Dance. I'll be with it. My number one card. Okay. There are some other things that are on the list, but I think we've had it. Is it a real argument? The Pale Moonlight Blind Classic. It is for people who don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
Like people think Why So Serious is like actually a good. Like it's not. It's not. But it had its virility. Like it was viral. But like, Have You Ever Danced with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight went viral before there was internet.
No, between those two, there's no competition.
This town needs an enemy. Get out of here, bro.
Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight. That's still a classic to this day.
What?
To this day.
Come on, bro. Boy, told Jack Palance, bro. Wipe you off the. Come on, man. All right, listen. Let me just do a rundown. They canceled National Treasure on Disney Plus. I wish I could say I'm sad. I'm not. I didn't even watch it.
I didn't either. Like
I thought it was a cool idea, but you know, it is what it is. There was a lot of news about Division 2 and the Division Heartland and what they're doing for the Year 5 and the Year 5 content. We'll get to it at some point. Cuddy can fill us in. I'm positive.
Right.
Knows everything there is to know about what's going on with that, and they are doing a beta. You know, they kept stressing PvPvE for Heartland. I don't know. I don't know that that's what I want. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm good. Jokes. You have a job to do.
Yes, sir.
Joe, but I understand. I can't say. I mean, I understand it too because I didn't watch it. It makes me feel like
I watched like at least the first movie. Like
the movies I watched, yeah, but
yeah, and I just like it's like all right, they're okay. Like
Now the National Treasure movies are clean. The show is like, again, I thought it was cool that they were going at like they were choosing to do it, but like, I don't know. I have feelings about this Peter Pan joint too. That's why we haven't watched any more trailers for it, because they keep releasing trailers and none of them are making me like, oh, new Peter Pan. Like this is not working for me. I do like Rufio though. That's my guy. In real life. Thank you, Joseph, for putting the Beacons link up once again for everybody who's hanging out, who's watching. The Beacons link is there. That is like our link tree, or a single link where you can go to find us across the internet, across social media, our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Kick. We're all over the place. And so that's the easiest way to go and find it. Again, currently, most importantly, you can go there, go to our merch store and purchase your Loading Snacks versus Autism 2023 shirts. Again, we have a few days left before the end of the month, and any of those purchases that happen during the month of April, those proceeds are being donated to the Organization for Autism Research. So if you go there and you buy one, we greatly appreciate it. Help us give a little extra support there. You can certainly go there and check out our Patreon. We have some really great people who are there who are helping put some money in the pot for us so we can keep doing what we're doing and we can grow and do more, which is really important. We have a lot coming up. We got our press access for AwesomeCon. So we got AwesomeCon coming up. We have Nerdpocalypse coming up this weekend. We'll be doing some hosting and all over the place and so forth while we are there. Again, that is at the Power Plant Live from 3 to 9. It is a nerd bar crawl. If you like anime, wrestling, Harry Potter, comic books, cosplay, axe throwing, breaking things, drinking, eating large pretzels, karaoke, and people who like those things, it's kind of no better place to be.
Yeah, it's the spot to be at. Yeah.
So yeah, Nerdpocalypse Classic this Saturday, PowerPoint Live. Come see us. If you see us, say what up. Say what up. If you see Jokes, whisper Beast Wars is weak in his ear. Look at him. See how he leaned in for it? Like, yeah, say it. Like, yeah. Yeah, listen, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. It always is. So we're looking forward to that. Like, it's just one of our favorite events.
Absolutely.
Every year. So come out, hang out with us, check out the theme drinks and so forth. I think that'll be dope. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
That we do. Look, tomorrow we're gonna do this again, a little bit differently. 8 p.m. Come hang out with us for the Loading Snacks Movie Club discussion of The Wiz. The Wiz. You can't win a teeny. Let's get in here. Let's do it. I'm so looking forward to this. I don't even know what to do with myself. We will be discussing The Wiz, the setting, the time, the place, the actors, the singing, the dancing, the yellow brick, the graffiti people, the do all of that. So yeah, come hang out with us tomorrow night. We'll be right back here where you're seeing us now. We'll be there again tomorrow, but we'll also be live within the Loading Snacks Movie Club group. If you're not a member of the Loading Snacks Movie Club group, just search Loading Snacks Movie Club on Facebook.
It's in the Beacons.
Or hit the Beacons link. That Beacons link. Put in the chat. Yeah.
Jump in there. Again, like, there's a lot that's happening all the time. Sin, please, one more time, tell the people who are on Patreon what they're getting earlier than everyone else and what's happening on Thursday. And then let's talk Thriller Park.
All right, cool. This Thursday, everybody, patrons, you get episode 3 of Anime Vote Season 3, which is Area Zerum the Animation. Everybody else, you will get episode 2 on Thursday. Episode 2 is Battle Angel. You all have that to look forward to this week. Also, Thriller Park, we have that Thursday night, 8 o'clock. We have reached the end of this show, Terror in Residence. We have 2 episodes left, 10 and 11. I can say everybody is extremely hyped to see how this is all coming to an end. Good pick, Jokes. This was a great pick. So kudos to you. But yeah, we have that. And then afterwards, if you're in the chat, cool. But we're going to be figuring out what the next run is. Because we're at the final pool for this one. So we got to figure out what our next ones are going to be. We got some people throwing some good ones out there. So yeah, it's going to be a good time on Thursday.
Jokes?
Couple things. So actually this Friday, Marcus, you chimed in, which means you're going to be there now. I like that. Friday, SmackDown, we actually kick off the WWE draft. But beforehand, 6:30 p.m., Sen, myself, and Marcus, we're gonna do ourselves our own little mock version of this draft and see who we can put in certain places for Raw and SmackDown. Also, come Sunday, Sen and I, possibly Marcus, you didn't answer me on that last one. We're going to be doing the finisher. We're going to be recording that. So some new information about new World Heavyweight Championship has been added to WWE's arsenal. We'll talk a little bit about the first night of the drafts. Probably a few other things as well, too. So look out for that coming as well, too.
Busy. Okay. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us this evening. We really, really do appreciate you. I look forward to seeing most of you, a lot of you back in the chat tomorrow. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. And thank you for rocking with us for as long as you have been. Again, it's going into con season. It's getting ready to get real busy.
Really busy.
Real fast. So there will be a lot of content coming. There's a lot that's already going on. We have a lot of things in the works and in the books. We're doing some things behind the scenes that I do think you guys are really going to enjoy. And we want to do more stuff that includes you all. So we'll be bringing some things to light. Jokes, tell the people what I need them to know.
So remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we are out. Toodles and loose.
Loading snacks.